my town. We gotta count bells up and we gotta ring around. It's going down, down, down. Yeah, you know it's going down, down, down. I do this for my city, I do this for my town. We gotta count bells up and we gotta ring around. It's going down, down, down. Yeah, you know it's going down, down, down.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another edition of the Maroon Maniacs. I am Jay Stubbs, back from the coronavirus, and we've got Derek Thomas over there on the other side.
What's going on, boy? That coronavirus. You know what? I'm really hoping they find a cure for that thing before it gets over here to all of us. I don't want that. You know, I got enough problems already. I don't need that.
You know what cures the coronavirus?
Cocaine.
The Lyme disease.
Yeah, we're back after being off a while. We want to make sure we came back, especially after our signing day. So, plenty of news to discuss in Bulldog land. Plenty of news.
Yeah, we got a jam-packed show for you guys tonight. Yeah, I'll touch on that one in a second when we get going, because it's funny, we talk about the Moorhead signing day stuff and, you know, Leach and everything, so
right.
I'll let you lead off onto that, and then I'll jump in there and play devil's advocate.
All right, so signing day 2020 for our Mississippi State Bulldogs saw us sign 4 guys, 2 high schoolers, and 1 junior college player, and 1 transfer, and also another transfer who should have been his behind at Mississippi State out of high school. We'll get to him later. First off, Jamari Stewart, a 3-star outside linebacker / defensive end, out of Port St. Lucie, West Florida, Centennial High School. I think that's where Jamar Chaney coached and went to high school. So, you know, maybe he sent him here. You know, we know Chaney is coaching at Florida right now, and maybe that's why he hasn't joined the staff, because the NCAA rule states, I think you have to some type of 2-year rule or something. I know I'm normally up to date on my NCAA rules, but this one, I'm not. Kyle Cash, defensive back out of Mississippi Delta Community College, originally from Alabama. He's probably going to play safety for us. The other transfer that should have been here out of high school is former 4-star offensive tackle recruit Scott Lashley. Has transferred to Mississippi State for his final year of eligibility. Yes, he has a national championship at Alabama, but he spurned us for Alabama, and now he's coming over here for this shade of maroon. What do you think about Lashley coming to Mississippi State after spurning us 4 years ago?
You know, you can look at it both ways. You can look at it from, I mean, how do you turn down Nick Saban and a chance to play for Alabama? I mean, there's a good chance that if you are good, you're going to go to the NFL, you're going to get a couple championships, you're going to get a couple rings. Mm-hmm. You might get your pockets filled a little bit, just yeah. You are. Or you come play for the home team, you know, not to say like Alabama's far away. I mean, it's just down the street. It's not like West Point and Tuscaloosa are that far of a difference, so people freak out about that. But I mean, it is NC State. You might have a better chance to play or to start, but are you going to make it to the big time? Are you going to win the awards? You know, so basically he's going from a bench warmer and a backup to maybe a starter. Depends on how the fall and spring leagues go. And we've got a lot of injury-changing things. So I'm proud he's back. You know, I wanted him 4 years ago, and I was salty to see him leave.
Mm-hmm.
But I understand why he left, and they got him a ring, and now he can come back home and, lead the Bulldogs to the promised land.
Here is my problem with this. You wait until you have 1 year left. I mean, I don't think he's even started a game at Alabama in the 4 years he was there. He's been a career backup. And while he's a talented player, man, after that redshirt sophomore year, when that true freshman came in and beat you out, you should have been out the door then. Real talk.
Mm-hmm.
Real talk. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm a fan of Scott Lashley. I watched his film. Tremendous athlete, but I think his talent was wasted at Alabama. Same with Nigel Knott, who is also in the transfer portal. Don't know where he's going to go. I mean, he was supposed to be medically retired, but he's going to play his last year. Just two guys from our home state, Stubbs, that could have contributed to Mississippi State's success over the past couple of years, but they languished on the bench at Alabama.
It happens. It's Alabama.
Yeah. And I saved the two biggest signees for last. The next signee we're going to talk about. No, he's not a Tommy Stevens. This guy has over 6,000 yards passing, over 30-something career touchdowns. He started a full season, parts of two others. KJ Costello from Stanford. Everyone wants to think, oh, another Tommy Stevens. No, he's not a Tommy Stevens. Stubbs, what do you think about KJ Costello coming to Mississippi State for his last year of eligibility?
I'm excited. I truly am. I mean, Stanford's not even really a passing team, if you really look at it. I mean, they're a running team. And the numbers he put up in his sophomore year were pretty astounding just for that alone, considering they had a stud running back. Yes, he did get hurt in his junior year. I think he broke his finger. He had a concussion. It kind of scares me, and the concussion does. The broken finger, that's freak accident. It happens. You can ask Drew Brees about it. The guy was a number 3 pro-style quarterback coming out of high school, a top 50 recruit, according to 247. He's got great size. I mean, he's graduated from Stanford, or he's going to graduate from Stanford in May and come down here. So the kid's smart. I just hope we have the wide receivers to be able to catch the ball and to play in the air raid offense. But I really think it's an amazing signing if he stays healthy. I hate seeing comparing them when people compare him to Tommy Stevens. Tommy Stevens was a career backup that couldn't stay healthy at Penn State and played 41 snaps, I think, at quarterback, where you got Costello that's thrown over 600 snaps. He has 49 touchdowns and almost 6,000 yards in those breakup seasons. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to averaging 40-plus points a game, and it's just going to be fun to watch if he stays healthy.
Exactly. And the last signee, a lot of Starkville natives are happy about this. None other than the one that spurned us for the team up north. We have signed Starkville wide receiver Rufus Harvey of Starkville High. 16 touchdowns receiving, over 1,000 yards, 75 catches, and one of the most who was most excited about him signing with Mississippi State? A.J. Brown. The Ole Miss Rebel A.J. Brown, who spurned us for the Rebels, says he's going to be buying a jersey and saying Hail State. How does that make you feel? What do you think about that, Stubbs?
Well, being a Starkville High grad, I'm excited about that. We pushed for it on Twitter, and basically what it came down to was the wide receiver that went to LSU. It freed up the next spot, which would have been Rufus Harvey, based on his ACT scores, I believe. I would have freaked out if he would have, spurned us and said he was still going to stay at Arkansas State. But once the hometown king came running, he took the offer and ran 2 days later. Exciting, like I said, being a Starkville High kid, he came close to a lot of A.J. Brown's records. His size bothers me only because he's not tall, but he's going to be the perfect inside slot wide receiver, I think, for this air raid offense because the kid can catch. Even though he's small in stature, he can jump. So he plays like a 6'3" wide receiver, if you want to put it that way. If you put it in the middle, if he's got these big, giant hands, that's what we need. We've got to have somebody here to catch the ball. Now, how much he'll play next year or he'll play next year will be determined. But I'm excited to see where this goes in the next how many years he plays for us.
How many years he plays. Well, I'm glad that Rufus Harvey signed. I mean, Bulldog fans have been clamoring for him all year long. Like, when is State going to offer this guy? He's been tearing it up. He's right down the road. We can't have an A.J. Brown part 2. Don't want an A.J. Brown part 2. Well, I guess we'll see what happens once we get in the fall camp, because we're going to have a passing attack. We're going to have to platoon wideouts out there. One thing I didn't like about how Joe Moorhead ran his offense, he only wanted to run a certain set of wide receivers out there. He was like, I'm not going to substitute much. Man, look, you got to substitute, especially when we have a passing attack as huge as we had. So, hey, But before we move on, with KJ Costello coming in, that adds another level to that quarterback room. KT has not left yet. Maiden is still there, and Garrett Schrader is there, and then Will Rogers is there. Who you think's going to lead?
Something's got to give. Something's got to give there. I mean, I don't know. You're not going to keep 5 quarterbacks unless somehow KT switches over to wide receiver. I know it's a gimmick play. Maybe he stays and wants to do that. I don't know. He's got the size. Could be a great wide receiver maybe for us. I mean, happens all the time. Maiden has a great arm. But this basically allows you to redshirt Garrett Schrader, and you could redshirt Will Rogers. You could have Maiden as your backup. KT could go at wide receiver, or he could play quarterback. I don't know. And then, of course, Garrett Schrader and Will Rogers can still go in and play the 4 games that they're allowed to play and still be okay. I just don't. I think by the fall there will be at least 1 or 2. At least 1 leaves. I don't know if 2 leaves. It'll be interesting to see what happens.
I mean, we're going to have Thunderdome down. Thunderdome.
It's going to be 2-man in and 1-man leave.
Well, here's the thing. What if Schrader says, I don't want a red shirt. I'm going to transfer on ahead to go play for Jomo. The coach who I know is going to play me.
I don't know. It's going to be interesting.
Very,
and
very
of course,
interesting.
It's kind of like we said at the beginning of the year, and when Tommy was hurt, everybody clamored for, Garrett Schrader to come in, bring Garrett Schrader. Year later, after the fight, not everybody, but it's almost like 50-50 that people are already done with Garrett Schrader. They're, ready to move on to Costello or maybe Will Rogers, or if he doesn't fit in the system. But it's funny how a change of one coach and maybe 1 season has completely turned, I won't say turned on